All right. The name is Dale, man. I'm here to do a review on a new Rapsody album. Please Don't Cry. All right, I'm just going to do a quick review. The biggest problem with this album, I'm going to just say off the top, is too damn long. It's like 22 tracks on this joint, and most of them are songs. I mean, you got a few, I think you got an intro and outro and maybe one interlude or some shit like that. But other than that, it's like 64 minutes long. 64 and some change long, and it's just too damn long. That's the biggest setback with this album. If she was somehow able to cut it down to like 16 tracks, maybe even like 18 might be pushing it, but if she had cut it down like 16 tracks, she could have had a potential classic on her hand, because most of the songs are pretty good, solid to pretty good songs. It's been a while since she's dropped the album. I think the last album she dropped was like I'm looking at my notes. I gotta look at my notes because I be forgetting shit. She dropped Eve in 2019. So it's been a long time since she's dropped the album. I saw an interview where she said she started working on this joint, Please Don't Cry, like 2020 when the pandemic hit. So it's been a long process. And I have no problem with artists such as her. You know, Kendrick Lamar took a long time too to drop his album, Mr. Morale, which he gets a lot of shit for. But I have no problem with this if you're going to come back strong. And I was just a tad bit disappointed. This album is not nearly as good as her two previous albums, Layla's Wisdom and Eve, like I said before, for Eve. But her discography is pretty damn strong. It is. She started off in this group called Cooley High. She's from North Carolina, I believe. She was in this group. They kind of like dropped a few EPs, maybe an album like in the 2009, 10, 2008 years. And then she came with her first solo joint, The Idea Beautiful, in 2012, which was a very solid album, very solid debut. Not as good as Layla's Wisdom and Eve, but it was a good, solid debut for her. And she pretty much has other albums she's dropped, other projects she's dropped that are not considered studio albums. She only has 4 studio albums. I get confused. I don't know what's the difference. I mean, these other albums that I have of her sound like official albums. They don't sound like mixtapes. Some of them not even listed as mixtape. They call like extended play. I don't understand that shit. But she has shit like what she got? She got Thank Her Now and got Game. They are considered mixtapes. They do have a kind of mixtape vibe to them. She got a rack of mixtapes, a rack of them. But the albums, well, I call them albums, but they call extended play, which are more like albums, but not considered studio albums for some reason or another. I don't understand the shit. But Beauty and the Beast was pretty good, and she had another joint called Crown, and I think she had another joint called Black Mamba that were pretty good, and they played like albums. It wasn't her just freestyling over other people's beats. And she doesn't even really do that on her so-called official mixtapes. So she has a lot of material. She has a lot of arsenal in her discography and her catalog. And she's been one of my favorite artists and rappers within the last 15 years. And she is my favorite female rapper. Now, I saw her in an interview recently, and she doesn't like that label, female rappers. She said we just all rappers. But for the sake of this video that I'm doing, she is my favorite female rapper. I got her above Lauryn Hill. Yes, I do. Lauryn Hill, to me, has never made a rap album, a solo rap album. Her Miseducation is an R&B album to me. I think she only raps like on 3 joints. That is an R&B album to me, not a rap album, in my opinion. And she has the One Great Fuji joint, but that's a group joint. So to me, Rapsody has passed her. Now, if you say who's a better rapper, just strictly based on rapping, I probably would give it to Lauryn Hill. And Lauryn Hill's evidently more talented because Lauryn Hill can sing. But I'm putting Rapsody over MC Lyte. I think she has a better discography and catalog than MC Lyte and Queen Latifah. And Lil' Kim. I got Lil' Kim up there pretty high. I think Rapsody probably has in that category too. And I really hold Lil' Kim high. I think she deserves more credit than she gets. But being said, I know a lot of people going to disagree with me because she's not as popular as these other artists that I named. But to me, she is the best female rapper. And I'm not being a prisoner of the moment. I said that after her Eve album. But I'm going to go through some of her songs on this album, Please Don't Cry. When I rate stuff, I rate it from solid, very solid, good, very good to great. So I would say this is a very solid album, almost pushing the good level. And the only reason I got a little trepidation about that, because like I said, it's too long. It's just too long. I start kind of like, after like the 18th, 19th song, I started kind of like blanking out. Like I stopped listening. It was just playing and I wasn't even really listening to it when I first listened to the album. So when I listened to it the second time again, I found myself doing that again. Like just kind of like almost not even realizing that I'm tuning it out after like that 18, 19 track. But she got some strong songs on here, standouts like Look What You've Done, Black Pop Star, That One Time, 3 a.m. feature Erykah Badu. That's a good joint. God's Light, I really like that song. Back in My Bag, which she has a video for. That's probably the best song on here. That shit goes hard. That's ugly face music right there. I love that joint. She be spazzing on that joint. She be killing that joint. And then you got the song called Raw, which features Lil Wayne. That's a pretty good joint. Lonely Women, I like that joint. Ballad for My Homegirls, I like that joint. She got another joint which I found very interesting. Another song that's about dementia. Alzheimer's and shit, called Loose Rocks. And I never heard an artist rap about that disease before. Not saying someone hasn't done it, I just never heard nobody attack that subject before. She does a great job. That's a deep song. I can relate to it because my grandmother passed away from that. So that's a song a lot of people unfortunately can relate to, because it seems like that is just running rampant. And she has another song called He Shot Me, where she touches on the Breonna Taylor killing and other like cops killing black folks. That's a good song, really deep song. So she has some deep, introspective stuff that make you think. She gets really into her thought-provoking bag, should I say. And it has some strong songs on there. The songs that I didn't care for were not bad. They just weren't for me. And like I said, the album just drags. Like if she could just cut that shit down to like 16 songs, I think she would have had another classic on her hand, or a classic on her hand if you don't consider Eve and Layla Wisdom classics. I do, but that's just me. Well, like I said, I give it a very solid, a few more. I only listened to it twice, so a few more listens, maybe I get it up to good. I don't know, but I'm going to keep it at very solid for this rating. I'm going to do a shameless plug. get my guy Ali the Terror's album, The Chronicles of Ali, on all streaming. We're on most streaming platforms, music platforms. I helped do like a little more than half of the production on there. Well, basically, you could say me and Ali did all the production on the joint. It's a very strong album. If I had to describe Ali's rapping style, it's like a combination of Rakim and Coogee rap. His voice and the way he flows in his cadence reminds me of Rakim. And I'm not the only one that thinks that. He's been told that before. And he has like the edge of a Coogee rap, like the hardcore shit, along with like the Rakim voice and the Coogee rap hardcore shit mixed in one. So that would best describe his rap style to me. But anyway, get that joint, support. I'm out.
Elevate your mind with high-quality THC-infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.